When a billionaire CEO discovered an amazing secret about the janitor, her life changed forever. Lily Bennett stood in her cutting-edge office high above the twinkling lights of New York City, a kingdom she had built from scratch. At 38, she was a self-made billionaire, steering a thriving tech empire. But tonight, amidst the anticipation of her major corporate event, something felt off. As she adjusted her designer blazer, she realized her mind was racing, not from excitement, but anxiety. The equipment for her presentation had just failed. "Get it fixed, now!" she barked, her voice echoing in the luxurious space. Panic gripped her elite team. In a room full of movers and shakers, they were like deer caught in headlights. Frustration clouded her thoughts, and her chest tightened. Everything she had sacrificed, her family, friendships, was built on this. Across the room stood Jack, the janitor. He was the invisible man that everyone overlooked, yet he always wore a friendly smile. As chaos unfolded, Lily found herself facing him. "Can you help us?" she asked, desperation creeping into her voice. The golden ceiling above seemed to close in on her, reflecting her own fading dreams. Jack stepped forward with surprising calm. "Let me take a look," he said, rolling up his sleeves. His presence was steady, and Lily found herself following him to the technical nightmare. His hands moved with skill and knowledge. They worked together, and with each passing second, the scrutiny of the event slipped away. "Where did you learn all this?" she asked, genuinely curious. "I served in the military," he replied without missing a beat. The words hung in the air, thick with unspoken stories. She felt a shift inside, a crack in her carefully curated world. As he worked, he unfolded tales of bravery, of small-town life, of family ties. The warmth in his voice reminded her of home, of the cozy mischief shared with her siblings, now distant memories. Tears pricked her eyes. He spoke of the community, how he helped local charities, pouring his heart into service while she had poured her soul into success. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As the presentation began running again, the audience was dazzled, but Lily's mind was elsewhere. A war raged inside her. Jack's humility was a stark contrast to her glittering world. Her family's occasional calls, now just glimpses into lives she once abandoned, felt like echoes of love she had pushed aside. For the first time, Lily truly saw the man in front of her, not just a janitor but a hero who championed community over competition. His sacrifices resonated within her, forcing her to confront a life filled with riches yet void of genuine connections. Would she continue to chase after superficial accolades, or could she redefine success through relationships? The city outside pulsed with life, but inside her heart, silence reigned. Would a woman consumed by ambition finally find her way back to the very roots she had forsaken? The answers hung heavy in the air, a moment frozen in time, daring her to choose. The applause roared like thunder as the presentation concluded. Lily Bennett stood at the front, smiling warmly, but inside she felt a storm of emotions brewing. She scanned the room, catching snippets of laughter and congratulatory remarks among her colleagues. Yet, the closer she looked, the more she felt like an outsider in her own domain. Jack was tidying up at the edge of the room, his eyes scanning the crowd with a calmness that eluded her. She stepped away from the throng of her elite team and walked over to him. "You did an amazing job," she said, genuine admiration in her tone. "Thanks," Jack replied with a modest smile. "Just doing my part." Lily hesitated, her heart racing. "Can we talk? Just for a minute?" Jack nodded, and they stepped out onto the balcony, which overlooked the shimmering skyline of the city. The cool night air wrapped around them like a comforting embrace, a stark contrast to the stuffy office. "What's on your mind?" he asked, leaning against the railing. Lily took a deep breath, overwhelmed by the memories he had stirred. "You told me about your past. It's inspiring. I feel like I've been running on a treadmill, chasing success without really knowing what it means. I want to understand more about you, and about life outside this bubble." Jack's eyebrows raised in surprise. "You mean it?" People usually don't stop to ask. "Maybe they should," she replied. "I've been so focused on my business, I think I've forgotten what truly matters." He considered her words, his expression softening. "Success can mean a lot of things. For me, it's about community. It's about relationships. Things I fought for in the military, they stay with you. They shape who you are." Lily felt the weight of his words tugging at something deep inside her. "I've sacrificed so much for my company. Even my family. I don't even know if they're proud of me anymore." Jack stepped closer, an understanding in his eyes. "Sometimes the price of ambition is too high. You have to balance what you want with who you love. It's about finding a way to mesh both worlds." Lily looked out at the city, her heart beating louder with each passing second. She had spent years building her empire, yet the thought of never reconnecting with her roots terrified her. "I don't know how to start," she admitted. Jack smiled gently. "Start small. Maybe reach out to your family. See what happens. You might be surprised." The notion weighed on her, and she felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. "Thank you, Jack. You don't know what this means to me." Before he could respond, they were interrupted by the sudden roar of laughter from the crowd inside. His presence felt grounding, a beacon of hope in her chaotic world. As they turned to head back inside, Jack paused and said, "You have a chance to change things, Lily. Just remember, it's never too late to redefine success." She held on to his words tightly as they rejoined the festivities. But the night wasn't over yet. A text pinged on her phone. It was from her younger sister, asking to meet and talk. Would she take the leap and reconnect? Lily's heart thudded in her chest. Could this be the first step toward a new beginning? The door slid open to endless possibilities ahead, leaving her wondering what she would do next. The flicker of her phone screen broke through Lily's thoughts. She stared at the message again. "Can we meet? I really need to talk." Her sister's urgency was palpable, even through the text. A rush of emotions collided within her, fear, excitement, and a pang of regret. "Are you okay?" Jack's voice pulled her back. He noticed the shift in her expression, concern etching itself across his face. "Yeah," she replied, forcing a smile. "Just, my sister wants to meet. I haven't seen her in ages." He studied her, searching her face for the deeper meaning behind her words. "Are you nervous?" "I don't know what to expect," she admitted. "What if she's disappointed in me? What if she thinks I've changed too much?" Jack shook his head slightly. "From what you've told me, I don't think she'll care about your success like you fear. She probably misses you." Lily could feel Jack's gaze steadying her as she contemplated facing the past she had evaded for so long. "It's just hard to believe that family isn't a priority for me anymore. I've put my work first for so long." Jack straightened up and leaned closer, his voice low. "Maybe this meeting is a chance for healing, not just for you but for her, too." Taking a deep breath, Lily nodded, feeling a wave of determination wash over her. "You're right. Maybe I'm overthinking it." A sense of clarity began to emerge through the haze of her anxiety. She knew she had to do this, to mend the threads of her life that had unraveled over the years. "I think I'll message her back and set up a time. Maybe tomorrow." "Good idea. You should embrace it," Jack encouraged. As they walked back inside, the warmth of the party enveloped her like a blanket, yet the laughter and chatter felt distant, muffled by her swirling thoughts. Would her sister still recognize her? Would they laugh together like they used to? The anticipation hung in the air, almost tangible. But just as doubts were beginning to settle, she was approached by Greg, her ambitious but well-meaning colleague. "Lily, congratulations. Let us celebrate." He pulled her into a conversation about the night's success. Her attention split between Greg and her swirling thoughts about the meeting with her sister. Even as she engaged with the crowd, a part of her mind stayed focused on Jack's suggestion, the idea that she could reshape her definition of success. Hours passed, and the party began to wind down. Jack caught her eye as he gathered his belongings. "You okay?" he asked, genuine in his concern. "Yeah, just thinking about everything. Tomorrow's a big step for me." Jack offered a reassuring smile. "You have the strength. Just remember what you told me about balance. You've got this." Their eyes locked, and for a moment, Lily felt something shift between them. There was an unspoken understanding, a bond that formed in the face of their vulnerabilities. As he turned to leave, she felt a surge of gratitude rush through her. "Thank you, Jack." "Really?" He simply nodded, then walked away, leaving her to digest the gravity of the night's events and the decisions ahead. With a determined heart, she pulled out her phone again, her fingers hovering over the screen. She typed back, "Yes, let us meet. I'll be there." Pressing send, a sense of relief washed over her. But just as she felt a flicker of hope, a thought struck her. What if this meeting changed everything? What if her sister had secrets of her own to share? Suddenly, the landscape of her future felt even more uncertain. What truths lay buried beneath their past? Would she dare to unearth them? Lily woke up the next morning feeling a mix of nerves and excitement. The weight of her sister's text still hung over her like a cloud, shifting her thoughts and emotions in every direction. She sat up in bed, rubbing her eyes and taking in the familiar surroundings of her apartment. It felt comforting and stifling all at once, a reminder of the life she built, yet a life that had distanced her from those she once held dear. After a quick shower, she made her way to the kitchen, the scent of fresh coffee teasing her senses. As she poured herself a cup, the sunlight spilled through the window, illuminating the clutter on the counter. Her life felt scattered, just like the dishes piled high and the unopened mail piled beside her. Lily's phone buzzed on the countertop, jolting her from her thoughts. It was a message from her sister, "10 a.m. at our cafe? Can't wait to see you." The confirmation seemed so final. The cafe was a place they once visited often, filled with memories of laughter and comfort. She hadn't realized how much she missed it until the thought brought a smile to her lips. Minutes later, she stood in front of her closet, staring blankly at her clothes. What should she wear? Something casual? Formal? She finally settled on a simple but chic outfit, her favorite jeans and a light blouse that made her feel confident. As she dressed, the reflection in the mirror reminded her of the girl she used to be, full of hopes, dreams, and closeness with her family. The realization hit her again, a potent mix of guilt and longing. After a hurried breakfast, she grabbed her keys and the old photos she had dusted off from the shelf, snapshots of her and her sister at their childhood birthdays, goofy faces and even the rare picture of them in matching outfits. As she clutched the photos in her hands, they felt like tiny lifelines, tangible proof of their bond. Driving to the cafe, memories flooded her mind, mingling with her fears. What if they couldn't reconnect? What if the years apart had changed everything? The questions tumbled one after another, churning with the rhythm of the car's tires against the pavement. She parked and stepped outside, the lavender scent from a nearby flower stand enveloping her. Climbing the steps to the cafe, she felt as if she was walking toward a pivotal moment in her life, a chance to rewrite the narrative. Inside, the cafe was bustling, warm chatter blending with the sound of milk frothing and coffee being ground. In the far corner, she spotted her sister, hair pulled back and hands wrapped around a steaming cup. Lily's heart thudded heavily as their eyes met. She took a deep breath and approached, full of anticipation. As she got closer, she could see the flicker of recognition in her sister's eyes turn into disbelief, then joy. "Lily!" her sister called out, rising to wrap her arms around her. The embrace was everything she remembered, familiar and grounding yet layered with the weight of their estrangement. "I missed you," Lily whispered, feeling tears prick at her eyes. "I missed you too," her sister said, pulling back to look at her face. "It feels like forever." As they settled into their seats, the conversation began tentatively, filled with small talk and cherished memories. It was like finding pieces of themselves that had been lost. But beneath it all, Lily felt an undercurrent of anxiety. There was silence hanging between them, heavy with the things unsaid. Then, her sister's expression shifted to something more serious. "Lily, there's something I've been meaning to tell you." Lily's pulse quickened. What could it be? The urge to prepare for whatever revelation was coming gripped her tightly as she held her breath, waiting to hear whatever truth had been buried. Would this change everything? The words hovered between them like an impending storm, a promise of transformation that could reshape their entire relationship. What lay ahead could either close the distance or unravel it completely. And in that moment, she realized the turning point had arrived. The moment she didn't even know she had been waiting for. Would she be ready for it? "Lily, I don't know how to say this," her sister started, her voice shaky yet firm. "But things have changed for me. I've been through a lot." Lily leaned in, her heart pounding. She needed her sister to know she was here for her, to listen, to understand. But the uncertainty swirling in the air made her stomach twist. "What do you mean?" she asked softly. "I've been dealing with a lot of personal issues," her sister replied, her eyes glossed with something close to fear. "After everything that happened between us, I started seeing a therapist. I wanted to address things I'd pushed aside for years." Lily felt a rush of emotions, hurt, but also clarity. The idea that her sister was putting in work, attempting to make sense of her feelings, was both refreshing and overwhelming. "I had no idea. You never really talked about it." "I know," her sister said, sighing. "I was too afraid of what you'd think, too scared to reach out for help. But I realized I needed to make amends, to face the past, especially with you." Silence hung in the air again, but this time it felt more like a bridge, a path leading toward what needed to be shared. Lily took a sip of her coffee, the heat comforting against her lips. It was so familiar yet so distant. "How did you start facing it?" "I dug through old memories, painful ones," she admitted. "Like us fighting over petty things, but those things really mattered back then. We lost touch over the years. I let my fear create this wall." She paused, her gaze unwavering. "I want to tear that wall down." The weight of those words pressed against Lily's chest. She always believed family could weather storms together, but the idea of tearing down walls made her wonder if they would like what lay behind them. "And what about us? Can we rebuild?" "I think we can," her sister replied, the shimmer of hope in her voice poking through their shared darkness. "But we have to be honest, even if it hurts." Lily felt tears behind her eyes, hot and heavy. "What if I don't know where to start?" "Then let us just start with how we feel right now." Her sister reached across the table, her hand extended. "I want to hear everything, no judgments. Just two sisters trying to find their way back." That invitation unfurled something inside Lily. A long-buried hope awakened, starting to push away the shadows that had settled over their relationship. "The last few years, I've felt so lost without you. I missed our talks, our plans, but we can make new memories," her sister urged, squeezing her hand gently. "Together." Lily took a shaky breath. It was frightening to think of all the raw emotions that lay ahead, unraveling layers of hurt, betrayal, and missed opportunities. Yet, within that fear also lay a deep yearning, the chance to start anew. Just as she began to gather enough courage to share her own fears, the cafe door swung open. A rush of cold air filled the room as the bell above it jingled, diverting their attention for a moment. "Lily, is that you?" A familiar face called out from the entrance. It was Sam, an old friend from high school, someone she hadn't seen in ages. Lily's heart raced, but not just from surprise. Memories of laughter, friendship, and young hope bubbled back to the surface. But this interruption felt like a tiptoe away from the vulnerability she was about to embrace with her sister. Would this moment steal their chance? As Sam approached, a part of Lily couldn't help but feel like this encounter might be just what they needed. But another part yearned for the unfinished conversation with her sister. Would it be too late to dive back into her sister's world once this distraction was over? "Hey!" Sam greeted, arms wide as if ready for a hug, oblivious to the fragile thread of connection that had just begun to mend at Lily's table. "Wow, it's so good to see you." Lily exchanged glances with her sister, a silent question passing between them. Does this change everything again? And as laughter erupted in the cafe, she couldn't help but wonder what else could unfold from this unexpected reunion. Would she find the courage to revisit those hidden hurts, or would the past simply repeat itself? "Lily! Is it really you?" Sam exclaimed, a smile lighting up her face. She rushed to their table, her enthusiasm palpable like a breeze on a warm afternoon. Lily felt a rush of nostalgia, those carefree days of high school, when laughter echoed in the hallways and friendships felt unbreakable. "Wow, it's been so long," Lily replied, standing to hug Sam. The embrace was warm, filled with history and shared moments. But as she let go, Lily's gaze drifted back to her sister, who sat nearby, her expression a mix of relief and discomfort. "Hi," her sister murmured, offering a small smile to Sam. "What are you both doing here?" Sam asked, clearly thrilled to have caught up with her old friends. She settled into the chair across from them, sparking a light conversation filled with updates and mutual acquaintances. As Sam talked about her job at a marketing firm and her recent adventures, Lily tried to engage, but her mind kept darting back to the conversation she had just started with her sister. The lingering questions about regret and the future swirled in her head like storm clouds. "Lily." Sam turned to her, her expression curious. "What about you? How's life treating you? Still writing those amazing stories?" Lily hesitated, emotions swirling. She wanted to share about her hopes, but the darker shadows of her relationship with her sister weighed heavily. "I've been working on a few things." "It's been a journey," she finally replied, trying to keep her tone light. "Ooh, I can't wait to read whatever you're working on." "You always had a way with words," Sam cheered, her eyes bright. Amid the friendly chatter, Lily glanced at her sister, yearning to dive back into their deep conversation, this newfound honesty. But Sam's presence was unexpectedly welcoming too, like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Everything okay, though?" Sam asked, her smile fading slightly as she caught a glimpse of Lily's unease. "You look a little pensive." "Just a lot on my mind," Lily admitted. "You know how it is with family." "I get it." Sam nodded, eyes glistening with understanding. Family can be complicated. A thickness settled in the air. Lily's heart raced. She didn't want to get too heavy, especially not now, but Sam's presence felt like a safety net, a chance to share the burdens she was carrying. "Actually, my sister and I were just talking about," she started, but she hesitated again, nerves holding her back. They were skimming the surface while the deeper waters waited just beneath. "About what?" Sam pressed gently, her expression kind. Lily looked at her sister, who offered a faint nod, encouragement wrapped in uncertainty. "About rebuilding our relationship." "It's been rocky, to say the least," Lily confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Oh, I didn't know," Sam said, her surprise evident. "But that's great. It sounds like you're both making strides. Trying to, Lily replied, her gaze dropping to the table. It feels like we're two ships passing in the night. Sometimes Sam's expression shifted, more serious now, and supportive. Yeah, but sometimes storms bring you back together. You know? A sudden hush fell over their table. Those words rang in Lily's ears. Could the storm really lead them back to solid ground? Just then, Lily's phone buzzed in her pocket, breaking the moment. She glanced down and saw a text from their mother, a simple inquiry about dinner plans for the weekend. It stung, the sudden reminder of familial ties that were both comforting and suffocating. Sorry, Lily muttered, pulling her phone out. I need to respond to this. As she typed a quick reply, she could feel both Sam and her sister watching her. The attention pierced her like a twinge of guilt. Were they waiting for her to make a decision about them, about family, about the past that loomed? Finally, she pocketed her phone, heart pounding again. What if she could explore the thought of redefining family, even right then? The gleam of hope flickered brighter in her heart. You know what? I think we can start over, maybe slow, but surely, Lily said, looking at her sister who met her gaze with cautious anticipation. Then she turned to Sam. Can I ask for your help? What do you need? Sam leaned forward, intrigued. I think I'm ready to confront these things. But I might need a little nudge to get away from the safe zone. Excitement buzzed in the air, but a wave of vulnerability crashed along with it. As Sam and her sister exchanged hopeful glances, a bittersweet ambiguity filled the moment. But the thrill of possibility left Lily with one burning question: was she truly ready to confront everything that lay ahead, or would the storm prove too fierce to navigate after all? Lily felt her breath catch in her throat. The very idea of taking that leap, facing her fears, reconnecting with her sister amidst the aftermath of their past, was thrilling yet terrifying. The table felt smaller as the weight of her decision loomed large, yet she pressed on. Sam, I know we haven't talked about much that matters since high school, but we're not kids anymore, she said, each word a step into unknown territory. I want to dig deeper, not just for me, but for my sister too. We need to really talk about what has been going on. The intensity of Lily's gaze held Sam captive. Sam stilled, her eyes wide with concern and empathy. Is it hard? It is, Lily admitted, feeling that familiar sting in her eyes. It's messy, and I'm scared we could hurt each other again. Her sister shifted in her seat, an unspoken urgency thickening the air between them. It doesn't have to be perfect, her sister finally said, almost pleadingly. Exactly, Sam interjected, a soft smile returning. Family can be messy, but it's also worth it. I believe that. Okay. Lily exhaled, a mix of anxiety and relief swirling within her. So where do we even begin? Just then, a spark of recognition flickered in Sam's eyes. What if you both took a day, maybe next weekend, to do something together? Like, just the two of you? No distractions, she suggested. Lily turned to her sister, seeing a faint glimmer of hope reflected there. A day? That could work. I might not be ready to share everything, her sister replied cautiously, but there was a lilt in her voice, something fragile yet beautiful. But I think I can face a day together. Perfect. Sam said, clapping her hands together in glee. You'll have so much to talk about. Just remember, it's not about fixing everything in one go. She reached across the table, squeezing both their hands. The warmth from her touch felt grounding, as if she were tethering them to a safe place. It reassured Lily that hope was indeed possible, even in the trickiest of relationships. Thank you, Lily said, her heart swelling. I really appreciate this. As the three of them continued to converse, planning and laughing as if no serious implications rested beneath the surface, Lily felt the shadows that clung to her chest begin to lift a little. Yet in her soul, uncertainty still lingered. Just as she started to feel optimistic, doubt crept back in. What if this day spent together only uncovered deeper fractures? What if they both emerged hurt, rather than healed? Lily? Sam's voice broke through her spiraling thoughts. Is everything okay? You peeled off a bit there. Yeah. Just thinking, she murmured, masking her fears with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. As they shifted topics, and the conversation flowed back into lighter territory, a flickering warmth in her chest reminded her of that glimmer of hope. Why don't we plan something we all loved as kids? Sam suggested, eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Like a picnic at the park or maybe a movie night with some popcorn? That sounds fun, Lily said, envisioning the laughter and simplicity woven into those memories. Let's do it. Her sister chimed in, a smile breaking through her more guarded demeanor. But as they exchanged excited ideas, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that deep down, the journey ahead would demand more than just pleasant moments. It would require confronting demons and buried feelings. This was just round one of a much bigger fight. In the back of her mind, a nagging sensation stirred. What if confronting the past unraveled a truth she wasn't prepared to face? The shadows returned, mingling with her hopeful heart. She struggled to balance the excitement of the planned day against the haunting chance that some stones should be left unturned. With haunted eyes, she looked back at her sister and Sam filled with hope, but her heart whispered the question, would this day bring them closer, or plunge them deeper into the storms of their past? Her heart raced. As the laughter faded into the background, Lily realized the ultimate confrontation was yet to come. Lily had spent the whole week preparing for the upcoming day with her sister. She scoured the internet for picnic ideas, made lists, and rehearsed what she might say several times over. Each evening she returned home, the sun setting low and draping shadows across her living room. She reflected on the choices that had led her to this point. The idea of a picnic felt nostalgic, but it was more than just a meal outside. It was a step toward something deeper, a chance to heal. As Saturday approached, her stomach flipped with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. When the day finally dawned bright and warm, she chose her favorite sundress, the one she always wore when she felt brave. It seemed like a good omen. At the park, Lily spread a blanket across the grass, the bright yellow fabric feeling like a beacon of light against the earthy backdrop. She arranged sandwiches, fruits, and lemonade just so, each item a reminder of their childhood craving, simple, carefree moments that felt like ancient history now. Sam arrived shortly after, her own tentativeness evident as she approached. But the moment Lily saw her sister's familiar smile, something inside her relaxed. Hey! Feel like a kid again? Lily teased, patting the blanket beside her. Absolutely. Sam laughed, her unease lifting just a notch. She took a seat on the blanket and the two sunk into a comfortable silence as they dug into the food. They talked about the weather, the thrill of the season, and even mundane topics, but there was an underlying current in their banter that suggested both women were holding their breath. As they finished their snacks, uncertainty loomed like dark clouds behind them. Lily decided it was time to breach the bubbling emotions. She could no longer ignore the truth waiting to be unleashed. So, she began, voice trembling slightly, about as Sam's expression shifted to something more serious. I know. We need to talk. The weight of her words sat heavy between them, a fragile moment before clarity, as both women stared out at the horizon. What do we do? Lily whispered, heart pounding against her ribs. How do we start? I guess we start with the hard stuff, then, Sam replied, her brow furrowing. Why did we stop talking, Lily? The question hung in the air, echoing around them like a bell tolling. Recognizing the significance of its simplicity, Lily felt tears prick her eyes. I was scared. I thought if I didn't say anything, I wouldn't make it worse. But I see now I was only making it worse. Same, Sam confessed, her own voice thick with unshed tears. I thought you'd moved on. You were the strong one, and I was lost. For the first time, they truly saw each other not just as sisters, but as women who had both been bruised by life's circumstances. It was a hard truth, and as the sunlight faded, the revelation pressed against them like shadows encroaching. Lily took a deep breath, feeling exposed yet liberated. "We can't keep hiding, Sam. We need to own our story. Together." "Together," Sam echoed, and there was a firm resolve in her voice that filled Lily with hope. Just as the barriers between them began to crumble, a gust of wind swept through the park, rustling the trees above. It felt like a sign of cleansing of the past, a promise of new beginnings. But just as they moved to embrace this newfound momentum, Lily's phone buzzed in her pocket, snapping them back into reality. She glanced at the screen, a message lighting up with an unexpected name. The sender was someone from their past, someone both sisters had hoped not to hear from ever again. Her heart skipped a beat. "Sam, it's Mom." The gravity of the moment pressed down hard, threatening to reshape everything they had just begun to rebuild. The warmth of the day suddenly chilled as looming questions filled the space between them. What would it mean to confront their mother now? And could this moment of connection survive the force of the past crashing back in? Lily felt her breath catch in her throat once more. The ultimate confrontation was coming, and this time it wasn't just between sisters, but with family. Would this signal a chance to heal or another storm to weather? Lily stared at her phone, unable to process the words flashing on the screen. They felt like a bomb dropping into calm waters, sending ripples through everything they had begun to rebuild. Sam leaned closer, her expression shifting from curiosity to concern as she caught a glimpse of the name. "What does it say?" she asked softly, her voice laced with trepidation. Lily took a shaky breath. "Just a message. She wants to meet. Says it's important." The words sat heavy between them. Lily could feel her heart racing, like a metronome counting down to an unknown climax. Sam's fingers twitched, and for a moment, neither of them spoke. The air buzzed with unvoiced fears and a shared history neither wanted to resurrect. "What do we want to do?" Sam finally whispered. "Do we really want to open that door again?" Lily clenched her jaw, her mind racing through the past, the days filled with silence, the weight of unspoken words, and the shadows of their mother's choices that loomed large over their lives. "I thought we were moving forward, Sam. But Mom, she's always there, in the background, lurking." Sam sighed, her shoulders drooping slightly. "But what if we don't? What if we ignore it and pretend like it doesn't matter? Will that really give us peace?" Lily looked into her sister's eyes, seeing her own hesitation reflected back. They were at a crossroads. One path led back into the chaos of their childhood, the other continued to forge ahead into uncertain, yet hopeful, waters. "What do you think?" Lily asked, her tone softening. "Are we ready for this? I'm scared about what might happen. About what she might say." "I'm scared too," Sam replied, her voice cracking. "But maybe it's time to face it. Maybe it's time to stand up for ourselves." Lily nodded slowly, her voice so quiet, it was nearly lost in the gentle breeze. "So, we go? Together?" "Together," Sam affirmed, determination flooding her words. She reached across the picnic blanket, taking Lily's hand in her own. It was a small gesture, but it felt monumental, a silent pact that they would not face this alone. They stood up together, the blanket trembling beneath them, just like their hearts. The phone buzzed again, a reminder of urgency. Lily took a deep breath, feeling a mix of sorrow and strength. They weren't just two sisters anymore, they were a united front, two women ready to confront their past and reclaim their future. "Okay," Lily said, the word a mixture of resignation and resolve. "Let us do this." With a final glance at the picnic they had once seen as a safe haven, they began to walk away from the grassy knoll, their hands intertwined, a bridge built over the raging waters of what had been. As they reached the parking lot, another message pinged from her phone. Lily hesitated, her heart racing once more as she glanced at the screen. It was a name that stirred memories even deeper. It wasn't just their mother, it was the truth behind their childhood, a dark secret that had changed everything. "Who is it?" Sam asked, sensing the shift in Lily's demeanor. With a lump in her throat, Lily whispered, "It's Dad." In that moment, the weight of the past crashed down on her, heavier than ever. Would they be ready to face not just their mother, but the echoes of both parents in this fraught reunion? The shadows were gathering once more as they stepped toward the storm, but this time they wouldn't face it alone. As they got into the car, the engine revving to life felt like a starting gun for a race they never wanted to run. Who would they confront? What truths would emerge? Lily took a deep breath, ready but terrified. The ride was long, but somewhere along the way, answers awaited. The drive felt eternal, each mile stretching out like the vast uncertainties ahead. The city bustled around them, alive and vibrant, while they seemed cocooned in an unspoken tension. Lily kept her eyes focused on the road, the rhythmic thump of her heart syncing with the beat of the engine. Sam's soft voice broke through. "Are you okay?" she asked, the concern wrapped in her words felt like a lifeline. "I don't know," Lily admitted, her fingers gripping the wheel, knuckles white. "This is so complicated. I spent years building my own life, trying to forget. Trying to forget or trying to heal?" Sam posed the question gently, challenging the notion Lily had clung to. Lily glanced at her sister, the sincerity in Sam's eyes sparking something inside her. "I guess both," she confessed. "But how do we even start?" "We start by showing up together," Sam said, her voice steady and soothing, the unwavering support igniting a flicker of courage in Lily's heart. As they neared their mother's neighborhood, the familiar trees lined the streets, reminding them of endless childhood afternoons spent playing in the sun. But today, as they approached the house, that warmth felt overshadowed by darkness, a shadow of memories creeping in. When they finally parked, silence enveloped them. They exchanged hesitant looks, the weight of expectation heavy in the air. "Are you ready for this?" Lily asked, feeling the tremor of uncertainty. "We can't turn back now," Sam replied, her resolve solid. "We owe it to ourselves." With shaky breaths, they stepped out of the car, the chill of the autumn breeze brushing against their skin, grounding them in the moment. Hand in hand, they walked toward the door, each step resonating with the echoes of their past. As they stood before the entrance, Lily's heart raced. She knocked softly, as anxiety coursed through her veins. Moments later, the door creaked open, revealing their mother's face, aged but familiar, eyes filled with surprise. "Lily, Sam." Her mother's voice was rich with emotion, a mix of disbelief and something softer that whispered of time lost. "Hi, Mom," Lily managed, her voice catching in her throat. "Can we come in?" Sam added, her tone strong as if she was already taking charge of the situation. Their mother hesitated but then stepped aside, letting them in. The living room felt changed and untouched all at once, a cacophony of memories flooding back, the familiar scents intertwining with long-lost feelings of home. "Sit, let us talk," their mother said, gesturing toward the couch. There was an edge in her voice, a hint of the tension that had been brewing for years. Lily sank into a cushion, the weight of the conversation ahead crashing down on her. Sam followed, gaining strength from their united front. "I know this is sudden," their mother began, the softness in her voice battling against the unfamiliar distance. "But I did want to apologize for everything. For not being there." A silence filled the room, heavy yet ripe with possibility, broken only by the flickering of emotions igniting. "Mom, why?" Lily asked, her voice trembling slightly. "Why did you leave us?" Her mother's eyes glistened with unshed tears, vulnerability radiating as she strung her words together. "It's complicated. Life took me down paths I didn't want it to. I sought validation in ways that hurt us. I thought leaving would set you free. But it broke our family apart, Sam interjected, feeling the pain of buried truths bubble to the surface. I know, their mother whispered, the admission piercing through the heavy air. I so desperately sought love elsewhere because I didn't feel it here. Lily's heart sank deeper, realizations swirling chaotic through her mind. And what about Dad? Where was he in all this? At the mention of their father, the atmosphere shifted. Their mother's gaze dropped, the color draining from her face. He had his struggles too. We weren't perfect. Sam's voice darkened. Do you even know where he is now? No, their mother shook her head, regret washing over her. And not knowing has haunted me. I wish I'd done better. The revelations hung in the air, changing the rhythm of the conversation. The facade crumbled, unveiling the truth beneath. Lily felt a mix of anger and pity stirring within. But Mom, she pressed, we need to work through this. You need to own up to what you put us through. Her mother nodded, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. I do. I don't want to lose you both again. Not like before. What does that mean? Lily asked, heart pounding louder. It means, her mother took a deep breath, nerves palpable, that I want us to be a family again. To rebuild. A cautious hope flickered in Lily's chest. And we'll need to face Dad too, she reluctantly suggested, the thought both daunting yet liberating. Whatever it takes, their mother promised, determination setting her shoulders back. I'm ready to rebuild and heal. In that moment, the thread that had bound them together in shared pain suddenly twisted into something more resilient, a chance for understanding, compassion, and forgiveness. For the first time in ages, Lily felt the burden, though still heavy, grow lighter. Sam's hand found hers, squeezing tight, an unspoken understanding passing between them. As they began to share their feelings, the conversation flowing freely like a stream after thawing ice, they finally embraced the depths of their truth, no longer whispering in the shadows but stepping into the light of authenticity together. And outside, the sun began to break through the clouds, illuminating the possibility of healing, of taking steps forward, not just as a family, but as individuals ready to redefine what love truly means. As the afternoon light poured in through the window, warming their hearts and hopes, Lily savored the moment. Amidst the shifting tides of family, it felt like a new beginning. Together, they would rewrite their narrative, with each step forward, transforming the painful memories into bridges of understanding. They wouldn't run from the storm anymore, they would weather it together, hand in hand, moving toward brighter tomorrows. This was just the beginning. Don't wait not even one more second to share. You need to subscribe now for more inspiring stories. Hit that like button to support our journey. Comment below with your thoughts on this emotional ending, and share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support.